All right, there you go. There we go. Perfect. All right. So we're live again. Nothing much has happened since last time, so I'm just gonna dig into what we're doing to this this session, and that will be we're going to finalize what we started last time, which was the pre-vegetation or vegetation material. We can clean it up, make sure it looks tidy, and then move on to the rock. We're gonna add what we did last time, the top mask material function. We're gonna add that to the rock material. And if time allows it, and I make good progress, we're going to look at the terrain material. Make sure it's no longer blue, or it actually uses proper materials. Right now, it's kind of a mess, but we should be able to finish or clean that up fairly easy. Time-wise, it will take some time because it's quite complicated material. Either way, I'm in Unreal, and I think we just get started. Let's make sure one final check that everything is up and running. Yep. It looks like we're doing great, although the YouTube live stream page seems to be bugging out on me, but yeah. We'll survive somehow. And chances are I will likely press a button that will open a window on the wrong monitor. Chances are high. And hopefully also just one thing, I've done some few changes to the sound with my mic. Hopefully it sounds equally as good or perhaps even better than before. So we'll see. And if you would be so kind, please let me know. I would appreciate that a lot. So, but with that said, let's get into this. I'm not going to need this size. We can move that. Minimize it a bit. This part will not be needed. Let's see. I'm reconsidering this option, but I can also change that later on. So we'll leave it for now. A few things I need to clean up. Over here is this part. So we go by doing that. I could add a reroute for all of these. I feel like that is probably a waste. Let's make sure it's roughly even spaced out. I don't know. Something along these lines. I'm just going to add a big comment window to this entire page or node section. So I'm just going to do all of these things. We go almost. I'm going to grab you like so. Yeah, that's fine. And add this. Not that. Yeah, that's good enough. This is blending, I guess. It's the easiest way to describe this part. So let's go with that. Blending. Perfect. Don't think I have to do much more than this. Feels clean enough. Or what we could do, just to keep the order proper, because what I usually do is I place these, I'm not sure what to call them, comment sections in order. So you have from the left is the first thing we do, which is adjust the UVs. Then we have the import of textures, and finally the adjustment of normals and things like that. So I'm considering moving this over. Yeah, makes sense to me. Something like this. I do feel like I need to have all these lined up properly. Otherwise it will drive me nuts. Something like this. I also noticed before I started, I've made a few notes in here, that so we can kind of have a look. If I go to the forest, have a look. So what I did earlier, this looks terrible, by the way. I'm not sure if we're looking at a texture problem or a me problem, likely me problem. But for now, I need to change this somehow at some point. So I've noted down a task to update this trunk or bark material. And also, it's slightly too small, the details right now, so I do want to give it a bit more, increase the size. So decrease the amount of tiling I'm doing. Because I'm thinking I'm doing 1 tiling right now. Feels as if these details should be ever so slightly bigger. But we'll solve that as it with time. The idea I would do then to add a multiplier somewhere. And so that is one of the reasons why I wanted to remove this. Because I'm not going to use a non-uniform texture in the future. Non-uniform just means that it doesn't have the same lengths on all sides. So it's either shorter on the X or U, whatever you want. So either one of the sides of your texture is smaller than the other or larger than the other. Same thing. So, question is, should I just remove this? I think I should. It will simplify the material and yeah, simplify it, and it will also be redundant by now. In the future, I'm repeating myself, since I'm not planning to use uniform textures, I'm just going to remove this. And we can move this up. The question now is, should I? Best way to do this. I'm thinking, I really am. How about this? I'm going to delete this guy. Move this in. Then I'm going to honestly, this is probably unnecessary, so I'm just going to do this for now. And let's have this area. Then let's do I'm going to do 2 multiply nodes because I want to be able to multiply the snow and the base texture separately. Let's do that. So this will be, let's call them, should we call them tiny snow UVs or just snow? I think just snow UVs is fine. Let's see, snow tiling. Misspelled, didn't I? Tiling. Make it 1. So that it doesn't really remove all the data or zero out the data. So let's do that. Move this up. Give or take something like this. That's good enough. Move this to the side, copy this. Something like that, and add a new rewrap. Let's call this base UVs. Since the texture or the material itself is not used purely for trees, it's also for other types of vegetation and more foliage, if you like that word better, if it helps helps see where I'm going with this. I'm calling it base texture. Snow will still be able to scatter on all things in the environment, so yeah, I will keep that name. That works. Let's see. Come on, there you go. Do this, rename it, call it base tiling. About something like this. Perfect. I'm also going to have to rename these at some point and categorize all the constants or exposed values. So what we can do now is, first of all, delete this. go for the base UVs. Yep. Oh, I need to change the color. I like to keep it red because it's the color of the texture board node. So I know that these are UV related stuff. There we go. And yeah. Make sure all of these are connected like so. And if you're curious, I am using the way I'm aligning these is using quick shortcut, which is hold down shift, then use the WSD buttons to align. So I can select this, make sure it goes to the S button, it will align with the bottom, or the W, it will align with the top. Then you have A left and B to the right. And it's always connected to the nodes you have selected. Just do this, like so, and then so. Perfect. That didn't help at all. So I'm just going to move these around a bit, make it cleaner. So we can remove this part. That was not meant to happen. Why did that happen? How about this? There we go. Perfect. Doesn't have to be like exact, so. The next step. Or do I need to do that step? So I have this comment which says unassign no textures and use 1x1 assets. 1x1 assets are these. I've made this myself. They are just textures that are a single pixel in size. They're not meant to be used in game, but everything connected to a texture node or a texture object inside a material, same goes for a sample, I believe. Either it's a texture sample or a texture object. When you assign a default texture, like in this case, one called black 1x1, it will still be loaded into the memory of the game. So all of these textures, whether or not I'm planning on using this specific snow texture in the future, it will still be loaded into the memory of the game or the project. So it will still occupy space. So if you have, let's say, 20 materials and all of them have assigned textures like this, then those 20 textures, whether or not you're using them or not, will still be in the project. So that will just take up space, and especially if it's like a 4K texture, I will just take a lot of unnecessary space. So I will probably just replace these with the 1x1. But then again, might keep them because I'm not sure I'm going to use any other snow texture than these for this specific like top down or top mask texture. So yeah. So that's just one of the tips. One of the tips. Yeah, it's just a tip. That's what it is. Good finish. Awesome. So, need to make a quick decision to do what? I am going to replace these. I am. So, we will do this. I can borrow these and rename snow. I believe the snow I'm using is a pure base color, right? There's no other thing connected to it, right? Yeah, you can just look here. So I'm only using the RGB values. Yeah. This will then be called. That is just normal. Perfect. Snow. And there we go. And finally, this will be. I don't remember what the suffix or is it suffix? Yes, the suffix would be AR Becker highlight or height. Sorry, highlight. The snow, ARSH. There we go. And this needs to be replaced. Like so. Then we can delete these. Align this. Like so. And the reason I'm not reusing these is because these are not exposed parameters. Yeah, exposed parameters that will use unique textures inside the material instance. So it doesn't make sense to use the same textures. There we go. And before we do anything else, let's find this guy. Because once I do this, I'm applying the change. This now will have broken values. Will look like this, which makes, yeah, it doesn't look like what I wanted to do. So let's fix that. So we can turn that off. All right, I did this. I don't need that. So let's see. Is it this guy? Yeah. So I need to do that. So you can actually rename each channel separately. You can rename. God damn. I'm not sure what it is today. I didn't sleep well. Probably. That's why. Right. So in the details panel tab for these texture objects, you can go in and change the channel's name. If you want very specific, you can just rename it. So in this case, you can see I named it normal rough red, normal green, roughness, and ambient occlusion. But I'm just gonna do that. I don't need these. To be honest, I don't need them for the other textures either. It's just something I tried, and it's just, yeah, it worked, but it's not important. If I apply this now, I go back. Yeah, it's more cleaned up. To probably go back and redo all that on the others at some point. Not today, though. I'm also going to do this. Where are you? Store priority. Doesn't have to do that. This will be 0. No, this will be 1. It is texture, but it is the snow textures. Actually, let's just call it snow. And this guy will, rather than textures, it will just be base. So everything related to the base texture will be in this category. Everything related to snow will be in the other one. Perfect. And apply. So now we have base and snow. It did have a reflection, so either way, works. Yep, looks great. So let's find my snow textures. No. Under landscape, it is. I believe I used the windswept one. Maybe I should use the surface, just the basic snow surface instead. Yeah, let's try it. So that will be this guy, and this guy, and finally this guy. There we go. Yep, perfect. All right. That is that. So we can delete this guy. And let's make sure everything else is in order. This will be number 0, 2, 3. Underneath the snow. This will be base, and I believe it's going to be 2. I want it directly underneath the texture parameters. So let's have a look. Yeah, tiling, perfect. Let's do this. There we go, yep. From here, we're going to use two-sided sign. That is related to the base texture, so it will be under base. Let's keep it at 32 for now, because we can have that at the bottom. Do the same for this. Base. I need that. These are related to the snow. Let's add that to snow. And none of these have any or exposed parameters. There's one. A static switch. Which one is that? Can't see it. Am I blind? This guy, there you go. That needs to be on the snow. Apply, and let's have a look. Perfect, so now we need to rename that. And it is related to, yeah. No use. And spelling again. There we go. All right. And next will be order. So this needs to be at the top, which is 3. Or rather, these are at the top, but yeah. Then it's these. So 3. We could make it easy for ourselves. If we're going to add things in the future, rather than start these values at, let's say, 4. Or is it 3? Yeah, it's 4. So rather than start at 4, we start at 12. That will mean that I have a margin where if I want to add things that go above these values in the future, then I can just continue off where the tiling starts or stops. So that will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 11. And then this will start at 12. So we can do that. Let's do 12, 13, 14, and 15. So if I apply, I'm not sure if we're going to see any change, but yeah. Up, and yeah, perfect. So we can just try that out, make sure it works by into snow tiling, make this number 4. Let's, you know what, let's make it 11. So in theory, it should be, well, I know it's going to be still at the same place. There you go. And change that back. I think that is everything, isn't it? I don't have any lying around. No. And I do have all the snow. Base tiling. Yeah, I think we're fine. Let's have a look at a few other things. Let's have a look. What have I changed before? Surface, two-sided, yes. Not sure why that is even enabled. Yep, I think we're doing great. Could it be dithering part though? Because I do believe that is enabled by default, right? Because I changed that inside this moss material. Yeah, perfect. I'm ahead of the game. And there are a few things I'm concerned about. That is likely due to something else related to. Maybe not. God damn. Yeah, I was kind of concerned that the dark areas on the street south is really dark. But I think that is more related to the light and the fact that these trees have improper mesh normals. They're not perfect. Also, I do want to change these values. They're really bright for no reason. That is not correct. Why are you like that? Wait, what? Why are they darkened? Does that make sense? I want that. That looks correct. And according to this, then blah, 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 if alpha is 0, then the first input is used. If alpha is 1, white, then the second input is used. If it's gray somewhere in between, yeah. The lerp is correct. It could be the mask itself. Let's have a look. So what's happening? Right. I think I know what's happening. This section is happening. I need to saturate that somehow. Either between this part or this. Let's add it right here. See if that fixes the problem. So I'm expecting to see now is this black part, or dark part if you want to call it that, to be gone. See if that works. No, it did not. And why is that? It does feel like it has something to do with this two-sided thing. Yes. So what is it I'm doing? Let's make sure things correct. That is fine. This should be fine. Saturate, great, blah, blah. Yes. And I do that. I do that. This. This part is multiplying this value. This 0, 1 range has been multiplied by a -1 to 1 range. That might be an issue. I'm pretty sure I talked about this last time, and I didn't know I set it up probably back then. I think if I do this, and again, I need to enable. There we go. Right, so it was a matter of me multiplying with a -1 value. Now it should be fine. There we go. Save. Apply. Looks fine. Right. So the thing I was mentioning earlier, before I noticed this thing, is that these branches, they might be physically correct within the PBR range. It is very saturated, so I might also add in the future something that allows me to tint that down. And this is not what I like. I'm not sure what is going on there. It is obviously some type of shadow, right? But it doesn't look great. And I'm worried that that is something to do with the normals. Not the texture normals, the mesh normals. Vertex, I believe. Either way. This is done. This is cleaned up. So then we can move on to the rock material. Let's like close this. Let's see if we can't find a rocky texture or rocky material. I do like to work with one called large. I think this is the guy. Let's have a look. So what I'm thinking is it better for me to just copy the other master material? What am I doing differently in this one? This is the old top mask. I'm pretty much doing the same things. More or less. How about this? I do know I want this. Let's copy that. So we then can delete these. The base UVs. Like so. These should probably have the read routers, right? Let's start there. I think that's a good approach. Base. Was it base texture? PC? Have a look. Well, actually, it's called text. Oh, that's a really dumb name, isn't it? Sorry, I need to change this. Base BC. Yep. Needs to be base BC. Or base O in this case. Almost. Yeah, and finally. There we go. It's back. And I'd like to have a different color. Let's make it blue. This then will be roughness. Yeah, something like that. Doesn't really matter. And this would be normal base. This will be ambient occlusion. Yo. And lastly, we would have height. This guy is down here. Replace this, and there we go. Delete that. Perfect. Let's do this. Base PC in there. Do the base normal. Base AO. Almost all. And of course, base roughness. There we go. We can move this up here. There we go. Perfect. So let's do this. I think I could probably just copy paste this guy. Right? I don't see why not. Yep. Let's just grab this entire thing. Paste it up there. So, what is going on? Yes. What's happening? I don't know. We're fine though. Right? Yeah, we look fine. Right. Okay. This would be base textures. There you go. And this needs to be moved to textures, but base. And that's already fine. Yes. So you and you. Perfect. Apply. Do I need this? No. Base. Where's my work? How about that? Just want to make sure it shows up. Oh, I think I know why. I'm not currently using. So these are not connected to anything yet, therefore those parameters will not show up. That makes sense. So what we can do is go to snow BC and there we go. Now they should show up. There we go. Perfect. Don't need that anymore. Probably, well, probably do, but for now. Set that base. Should this be tiling? Or, because what I want is this guy. Actually, number 3. To apply. Tiling. Specular. Perfect. Well, this will... No. I will have it. I will use it. Yeah. I will use it. So that's fine. Spec should be mixed into another one of these. Let's do this. That will go into this guy. This will go to this guy, and we will have snow spec into this guy. There we go. I'm gonna clean this up in a bit. Let's move this to the side for now. Then we need another lerp, another one of these. This time it will be for the roughness. All right, there you are. That goes into this guy. Perfect. Let's have a look. So there's the rock. That is expected because I need to do... That is not expected though. No, it is because I'm not... Yes, I'm not using the normal yet. So the normal, the third one of these are not connected yet. That's why. Which means 1, 2, 3. No, we're fine. Counting the sort order. So we're fine. So let's go to environment, textures, not environment, it's in landscape still. Let's go with basic snow. Like so. Apply. Oh, that is purely on one. That is the cluster. There we go. This is the one I'm looking for. It's not perfect. Again, we're not using the correct mask yet, so we're fine. Let's see. We have this. I could keep that. What I'm not going to keep is these. And also you need to be connected to this one. There we go. Because we need to do the snow normal like so. Let's do that quickly. Now we do have this. Perfect. And this guy. How's that look? There we go. It's not perfect, but it is a start. Back to this. And finally, I'm assuming it is the ambient occlusion. Boom. Oop. Finally. There we go. Anything else? Nope. Doing the pot. Shouldn't see much difference because the ambient occlusion doesn't really do much. Alright, so let's redo this. We don't need that anymore. Now I do need the vegetation because we're going to copy all this, or at least this much. Let's grab the comment section too. Paste that in. And we are then, let me double check something. Yeah. Right. So this part needs the base normal, right? Like so. That then needs to replace all of these. I probably could have just connected the output for the mask into the rerouter that was already there, but yeah. Let's do it this way. Perfect. And finally, go back. There we go. Not perfect by any means. That is not. No, that is definitely not perfect. To be honest, that's horrendous. So, what's the problem? Two-sided, probably. Where are you? Use two-sided? No. So honestly, let's just do that. Well, that didn't help much, did it? But we go to this guy. I need that. Why is it? That looks like it's... Is it inverted? Oh, wait. Have I connected them the wrong way around? Then the vegetation base is at the top of snow is in. And I've done it the other way around, right? Yes, I have. That sucks. An easy fix. Like so, right? I believe so. Quickly move these around. Can I change the color of this guy? No, I can't. Wanted it to be blue so I can kind of... It's the same as these. How about that? Alright, so, well... That didn't do much, did it? Why is that? Is it because of the values? How about we change that? That's something. It's still wrong. Wait, what? Let's try this again. So this is purely the mask. And I want white, which is, again, the B section. Right? What's the problem? How about this? Instead of working at this level, let's go to this level instead. It's easier for me to see the effect it has on the rocks. I believe it's this guy. Yeah, it is that guy. That's something. Let's plug this back in. I'll read this again. So if alpha is 0, the first input, yeah. I'm sorry. Wait, what? If it's alpha 0, my head right now. Yeah, so if it's, wait, so what's the right way around? Should have been this. Should have been that. Awesome. Yeah, that's what I said, didn't I? I did say that, but I didn't change it for the base color. I made a mistake on the base color. There you go. So let's move this out again. So let's see. This side is really white though. And then we have this problem. I feel like this is a different problem from before. Something's really off with this. Why is it doing that? Is it possible that I can't use the same approach? Maybe this approach is better? Let's try something. Well, I'm thinking, what if we use the pixel normal word space? The problem with that is that if we're mixing... No, we can't use that. Because if we're mixing normals, which we are, then I can't use it. So it seems to be back to this guy. What if this could be easy? It never is. Is that really correct? It doesn't look correct, does it? What's up with these guys? That's horrendous. I feel like I ran into this problem before. It doesn't seem like I fixed it back then. Because that is horrendous. And it doesn't seem like it does much of a difference. No, it doesn't. So how we do this? Let's do dot. Not this guy. So everything that is the same as the other. So as long as, so they will look at each vector from these two and multiply them. So we'll multiply the x with the x and the y with the y and the z with the z. And if this is and then combine it, right? Is that how it works? Yeah, we'll look at each vector, eventually multiply them first, then combine them into a single value, a single float, right? And if it's 1 and 1, then it gives me a 1. That will be everything that points straight up will have 1. Yeah, I think that is the case, right? So I'm not particularly happy with the fact that it's... Why is it showing on the sides? I mean, these vectors shouldn't be pointing up. They're not. That is not a white value, is it? That is more of a grayish value. Right? Fair. So what I want to do next, we're going to do a similar approach as to what we did in this node, or this material function, but not fully. We can do that. What happens if we do this? All right. Again, it's showing me... I mean, look at that. That is white when it's clearly... That is not up, is it? Or is it? And also that line. I have no idea what's going on. I mean, this is better. It's not great. Interesting. Once we've done with that, I believe that previous way that we did it is that once we've done this, we also have an intensity. I guess we can add that. Then we do a saturate with this. Fair. Where's the... Yeah, it's already over here. Fair. So we're adding back the details from the normals just in this part. We're lerping between this. Yeah. But instead, I'm going to use the height of the rocks. The height text rather than the normal texture. So what we're going to do... Okay. Not sure why we're doing this part again. Let's start with this section. Do that. Back to this guy. And we're going to grab the height lerp. I don't need all of this, so I'm just going to go in again. I copy a few of these things. We're going to go grab this part, this, and this. Like so. Do I need... No, I don't need to do that. I don't need to clamp afterwards. Like so. Then we need this guy. Like so. In there. And we needed a saturate. Like so. Just gonna make sure this is a parameter. I don't know. Mask contrast. Or other detail. Mask contrast. Let's go with that instead. You know what? Let's start with this section first. Let's see what that gives us. Okay. That's more detailed, but it's not even close to what I wanted. Why though? Why? What if we do that? Because that's the right way, right? Oh no, I'm doing the other way around. That's true. I'm mixing up the order. This needs to go in there, and this needs to go in this area. So we're subtracting the height details from the gradient. That's what we want to do. Now it should look. There we go. That's better. I'm not a super fan of these details. So can I adjust that? What is? Do this. Transform. This guy? Yeah. World space. And this. I'm curious. What if we can get better information from the normals, which fortunately earlier were really bad. But yeah, so why? Why is that happening? This makes no sense to me. Because it tells me there's something really wrong with the normals. And I'm worried that I need to go into... Alright, so is it the... There's so many places this could go wrong, unfortunately. So, it could be... Because I am grabbing this and I'm recalculating normals. Does that look? Is this bad? I don't know if it is. Oh, I know. I got it. I got it. Right. No, hopefully this makes sense. Yeah, so this guy right there, it's a terrible normal. We can have a look if I do this. So, okay, it does look like a proper normal, it does, but there's the blue channel is currently, I believe it's the ambient occlusion, right? Yeah. So I'm actually combining the side, the front side values of the normals combined with an ambient occlusion for the top values of the normal, which gives me, fair enough, it looks like a decent normal. It's not. There's no... So that's why this side looked like pure white, or like it would be facing upwards, because it is facing upwards in the ambient occlusion. So that's not correct. So what we want is, first of all, let's add this back. We want this guy to go into this guy. So now if we have a look, this is the world normals. And I'm hoping this is correct now. Because it does make more sense to me by doing it this way. I combine this and this. Right, that's the same as before, right? Yeah. What I wanted to try was doing it this way. There we go. Yes, I think that looks better. Right. Now the question is, if I combine this in, this is world space now. So I'm going to use a similar process as before. But we are also going to use this height thing. The way we're going to do it is this. Is this the mask now? Yes, this will now be the LERP alpha mask. Neos? Is that what it says? 120? How you doing? Welcome. I think I'm getting old because I can't read it. How you doing? Welcome. Let's see. But yeah, you just joined me as I realized I made a grave mistake and I fixed it. My mask or my rocks is now looking great, and this side is no longer showing pure white, which it shouldn't. And we're doing great, making sure everything works. Now we're going to combine everything into a final LERP mask so we can have a look at the snow and rock texture combined. And hopefully I'm doing this the right way. Because I've never done this before, or at least not in this way. So let's see, the way I would do it is probably combine these two, like so. Right? Or would I? Because I'm now using this to LERP between these two. Hopefully that will make sense. Delete that part. But I also need to do another dot product, because we need to tell it, hey, if it's not the same vector as this, or if it's not a value, all x and y needs to be 0, and the z value has to have some kind of value between 0 and 1. So that is what we're doing right now. And it's comparing these two to this. I think that is a poor explanation, but I believe it is a correct one. And now we're back to that again. God damn it. Why? Why are we back to that again? You're not meant to do that. Right. Let's have a look. This is the detailed part. It's all over the place. Is it though? No, I think it's fine. And this guy, if I do this, it gives me this. So instead, this is terrible. This is not the best idea. Nope, that's a terrible idea. So I mean, this, I'm thinking this is good, probably. I might be overcomplicating things. This could be good enough. Although I don't like these types of details. Can I smooth that out somehow? Can I smooth it somehow? That's a problem. That's a question, rather. What if we do this? Is that the worst idea I've ever had? Probably not. It's not the best, though. I've done this similar thing before. I'll grab this, which is the vertex normals. And I'm LARPing that using this mask, which is kind of just top mask. I'm doing that again. The question is... I don't know. I don't know what the question is. Maybe this is as good as it gets. That kind of looks like it's piling up, which I like. But I don't like this part. Or do I? What if we... Right, so where were we? Right, adding a contrast. I think that is needed. Anything else? I might add an intensity parameter. Let's try with the contrast first. All we need is at the end of... Right, it is the end of this. Yes, it is. I need one right there. Let's do power. Sometimes I would love the way we search for stuff in Unreal to pick up that words that are close rather than perfect spelling. That makes sense. Let's do that. I just want something. No, actually, I do have something. Lose this guy. Look like shading fun. Well, welcome, by the way, Skullprisa, right? Yeah, Skullprisa. Yeah, well, shading, it could be fun, but it could also be infuriating, because I spent like 3 hours 2 days ago to make this, what I believe to be really good material function, then turned out not to work at all in this new material. So now I'm redoing it, but in a slightly different way, just to make sure it works. It's the way of game dev, I guess. So how you doing? Let's see. So if I now adjust, which one is it? Should be this. I don't know. Do I have some tips for cropping things out? Can you rephrase that question? Because I'm not sure what cropping things out, in which context you're referring to. So if you can add another spin to that sentence, then I probably could help. This looks terrible, doesn't it? I don't like this jagged. Is there anything else I can use rather than... I mean, vertex normals. Probably the way to go. Perhaps the problem is this. And now I'm just getting back to the previous. Yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? It's not a lot better, but it is better. God damn. Meaning, if I move this to the side, that means that this guy was working. Let's see. Building scenes, I'll try, but I'm so bad at building things. Everything looks like a horrible art piece in the bad way. Okay. So tips, I'm sure I can give you some, but there's more context to this, I believe. So first of all, make sure you are, when you criticize your artwork, make sure it's relevant to your experience, right? You can't be too harsh on yourself, especially if you just started. Then you have to be a bit patient. Make sure you take your time and try small things at first. Like try to focus on smaller projects with a specific goal to improve in small areas, and you do that a few times, and then you build a big one. And then you'll see after you've done that a few times that you've improved quite a bit. So first of all, just be kind to yourself when you look at and criticize your own stuff. That's the first place you should start. And it's not an uncommon feeling. Really, I feel the same. And I've done this for like 15 years now, probably 16 or even maybe 17 years. And it is a feeling you will have continuously because your criteria, the things you demand of yourself will just go up. It will be more and more like you demand more of yourself. So that's the first thing I would recommend. Just take a step back, chill, be kind to yourself, and try again. Hopefully that helps. Not sure. Building scenes are complicated. There's a lot of stuff that goes into making things look right. So you might want to just take a step back. That's probably the best approach. Maybe if you've done... Okay, so I'm just going to ramble a bit now because you opened the can of worm. Let's say you worked on this project for quite some time, but you've never taken a break in between. Then I would highly recommend you do that, because that could help, first of all, remove some of your harsh criticism of yourself, because we tend to be blindsided when we look at things for too long. So take a step back. Yeah, I'm repeating myself, but definitely take a step back. How about looking at some references? Like if you, first of all, take a look at your scene, pinpoint something that feels really way off, then go have a look at it what it looks like, either on a real thing, if you're making realistic art, or if there's a specific reference or style you're after, go back, have a look at the artist you've used as a reference, and see what they did. And maybe you can find something like, oh wait, they've added more dark colors in the shadows than I've had, so let's do that. And take it step by step. I want to build some kind of vertical slice, but it's so many stuff I just find, the camera views, heights and stuff, so it feels right, but I'm too critical on my stuff, yeah. Then thanks for that, no worries, absolutely. Try to pause, read the art, engage. Yeah, just go have a look at games that you feel represents the final look you're after. And also, yeah, I mean, again, I can show you what I've done. Like these things, it looks horrendous right now, but you should have seen what it looked like going back 2 months ago. Making these things is complicated. It takes time, especially if you're making a big scene. So either scale down if you're just making an art slice. That's probably the biggest tip I have, just scale down. Just keep scaling down. Once you have a look, once you finalize that small version, then you can probably extend the size of it a bit. No, yeah, so have a look at the size. Just be a bit harsh on yourself. Oh, not harsh. Have a look at the size and ask yourself, do I really need to make it this big? Maybe I can make it smaller just to get the things, the message through. Maybe a smaller scene can help. There you go. Right, so. And now we're back to that. Why? What is it with this particular thing that gives me that result? I just had that earlier. Back, normal vertex, yes. Oh, am I doing that twice? No, I'm not. No, I'm doing that. All right, now I got it. This guy. It needs to be this guy. There we go. Is that the LOD popping? I think it is. Yeah, and that result is good. So, in the end, what I did yesterday is actually working. I just plugged in the wrong data. Awesome. Reroute. This would then be... let's call it derived normal. Let's connect that. And... right, normal. Connect this. Perfect. Now it should be working. I've restarted 5 times now. It's maybe the right way. I just want to make sure one level because they have a reference for the build style and I can test things in scenes because I have a weird stuff in mind. All right, shares of fun. I find it, to be honest, I messed around with them. Yeah, now have fun with it. And also restarting a few times. Here's a tip. Go back if you have some screenshots from your first attempt and your second attempt and third and so on. Have a look at them and ask yourself, has it improved? I'm sure you're going to see that you've improved throughout that. And it might just be that you have a really high bar you're aiming for. And then that will mean more time investment to get there. And probably, as like you're doing right now, restart a few times. Because you've improved. You're now better. You know more. You can do things faster and just in a different way. So, in the end, though, have fun. That's the big one. Remember your first time and just use the CAD models and you have millions of triangles. There you go. That's the first thing. You've already improved. A million's insane, though. I mean, it's a perfect valid mistake if it's your first attempt at anything game related. I mean, I would probably have done the same. I used to teach, well, to their, and I'm losing words. I was teaching young kids, probably between like 7 to 10, maybe even 12 sometimes. And so these are kids. I'm not like pushing them down or anything, but they tried to do that same mistake we all do, which was, hey, I need more triangles. I want more details. So I'm just going to add more subdivisions. And eventually, since they were working on laptops, we couldn't give them proper workstations. The laptops just either burned up or crashed. Fun. But they were kids, so they didn't know better. Right. I do feel we reached a point where I can add back base color. Please look good. Please. What on earth is that? I'm sorry. What is going on? Why are these rocks giving me such headache? Is it the mask again? I just ask myself why we don't make it different with the Maya, Mudbox, Blender, Unreal, Unity, but they are all not so good. I wish they would implement CAD Surface to all engines. That would be a good workflow. So you're thinking particularly the CAD workflow, which is really mathematical, I believe, while we're game dev are still working with the polygonal workflow, which is vertices, triangles, move them around. The CAD one would probably have a lot of advantages, considering you don't have to do all those edge flows and things like that. For games, though, I'm not sure if it's even possible to do it runtime. I can't speak for the technical side of it. I have no insight in that. But I'm assuming the reason we're not doing it is because it's just way too technically difficult to have a mathematical, like pure mathematical model in a game engine. How would you even work with the lighting and things like that? Again, I have no idea. No, I mean the program simply move to get things done, not the math of the workflow. I mean, so what I'm getting is you're referring to. So what I'm saying, and maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're asking here, but or arguing for. So CAD is the way I believe CAD is working is that you add when you do a Boolean or when you create a circle, whatever in CAD, it's very mathematical. It's kind of like comparing rasterized images in Photoshop compared to vector graphics. Vector graphics, no matter how much you zoom in, will always have a perfect bend. But if you do it with rasterized images, you will get pixels, right? And that's probably the best comparison I could do with this topic in this context. And sure, I can see the absolute benefit of that. If you add a circle and you do a Boolean, you will have a perfect circle Boolean out, right? The thing is, once you get to the engine, I think that's probably where the biggest problem ends up, because you might have the triangles again. How many triangles do you have? Probably thousands. Yeah. No, I honestly can't tell you the exact reason why we're doing it the way we're doing it, but I'm sure it's the proper one. The current limitations we have. I don't know. Maybe. Probably. I'm just a fool on the internet, so what do I know? Mohammed, welcome. What are you doing? Everything's going great? Have a good day? I just mean the surface and how you interact with the steps you want to do. Yeah, fair. And I can definitely, I mean, I'm so used to the polygonal approach to the workflow. I've done it for so many years, so I don't know. I never worked with CAD before, but maybe it's easier. It's just, this is just works for me. It's workflow. Chris Tricon? Tell you a story? Ooh, I'm not a good storyteller, but I do have a joke for you. So let's see what that is. So how does penguins build a house? It glues it together. How about that? I don't know. Tell you a story. That put me on the spot, didn't it? You want me to tell you about my time in Japan, where I almost... Well, I didn't almost. I did lose my passport on the second day. That was fun. So what happened was... So last year, in November, I went to Japan. And for some reason, I decided the best way to carry all my stuff, my passport, some cash just in case, I had that in, I believe it's called a fanny pack, or mid or waist pack or something like that. And I've never worn one of those before. This is the first time. So on the second day, everything's going great. I'm been checked in. I've shown my passport to the hotel, so I'm already checked in. I go to grab some breakfast. Kind of nervous, first time in Japan. Don't know how that will go. I went to this restaurant, looked great. Went in, sat down, took off the fanny pack. I'm going to call it a fanny pack, by the way. Probably something else. Put it underneath the table on a shelf. Everything so far great, right? I started eating. Great food. Loved it. Stood up, walked out. 10 minutes later, I realized, dang. Like, I was really cursing. I forgot the pack. So I went back and it was gone. It was gone, and I asked around, but they didn't seem to understand what I was saying, so we couldn't get any clues as to what's happened. Went to the police, like, delivered a report, and that was it. So the next 8 days, I believe it's roughly 8 days, I was in Japan without a passport, and apparently that's a no-no, because you're meant to have your passport on you at all times. But I didn't have one. I was waiting for the Swedish embassy to help me out, but they didn't have time until like 8 days later. That was a stressful period. Really stressful. Yeah, my passport, yeah, it's gone, Mohammed. It's gone. I had to get a temporary one. And a new one. I have a new one right now. It was the Kusa, probably. I have no idea what they want my passport for. No passport. So, but maybe. At least I came home in one part. I did. Chinese food, never tried that. They should have sent the army to help me. Why on earth would they send the army to help me with this? No, the thing is, once I got to the embassy, it took them, I'd say, maybe half an hour to 45 minutes to help me. And the process was super easy. And thankfully, the one that helped me was actually speaking Swedish, so we could understand each other. I think we were talking about chocolate in Gothenburg, which is where I'm from. I think she had some connections with that city too. With this city. Yeah. Either way, once I got help, it took me like half an hour and I was done. Did they make me sing the Swedish national anthem? No. That's not Swedish enough. No. I had to build an IKEA furniture and I had like 5 minutes to do it, which is more than enough time if you ask me. I had to eat some surströmming, which is that really fermented, stinky fish. And also make sure they exposed me to the idea of living like cold. They exposed me to a lot of cold, so I had to stand in the cold for a few minutes. Yeah. All in the t-shirt, of course. Yeah. The anthem, nah, not really. I should have learned something? From what? Well, I did learn something. I'm not going to use a fanny pack again. Next time, I'm just going to put it in the back pocket, which I've done for like 30-something years. So no, it's not going to happen again. Never again. It was the opposite. The fanny pack was meant to secure my stuff. But in my stupidity, it became the opposite. It became the reason why I lost it, to be unfair. And that's kind of... like what do you call it? Some ironic justice. It's not the word. I don't know. Like IKEA, I see some things made by it. Well, IKEA is in every household here in Sweden. I'm looking at 2 shelves I have from IKEA. This desk I'm working on is from IKEA. What else? Oh, my bed, mattress, and the frame is from IKEA. My TV, bench, IKEA. What else? Probably something in my kitchen's probably from IKEA too. So IKEA all over the place. I did learn some Japanese, or more rather than learned Japanese. The little I knew when I went over there, I was kind of confirmed. That makes sense, but it's like 3 or 4 words. So most of the time I had to speak English, and very few times did I feel I could use any Japanese. Next is Tunisia. Would they allow me, considering the way we absolutely annihilated you guys in football? Would you really allow me to go there? I'm sure someone would happily, that's the word I'm looking for, allow me in. At least I learned English. Well, the English to me, and many Swedes might feel the same. We start learning English when we're 9 years old. That's like officially when we start. But I began learning English, or I was exposed to English already back in like 2 or 3 years old, because my mom and dad, God bless them, decided to invest in cable TV. So I had access to Cartoon Network, which is an American English speaking kids show or kids channel. So I was watching things like Cow and Chicken, I Am Weasel, and Dexter's Laboratory when I was 2-3 years old. And I did that for many years. So that's where I got my English from. How dare you? Well, I do dare. What are you going to do about it, You're going to come over here and do something about it? No. Go back to studying. So what am I trying to do? I got lost. I was distracted. Right. Why are you like that? Why are you like that? Hello? Is it? Do I need to do a different approach to that? It does make sense, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Right? No, it doesn't. Why? I'm sorry. Please. Oh, it's over here. I forgot. I had it right there. Oh, wait. No, it does make sense, doesn't it? The unknown. Welcome. How are you? How you doing? Been a while. It's been a while. You just joined me now where I'm going through a head scratcher right now. And I'm thinking I know what's going on. I don't like it because I was expecting something else. What's happening? This is my normal map. Purely using the snow normal map. That's not what I wanted. And it works, the process works really well when I do it on these trees. It's the same exact process, same steps, same method, same material function. But now it looks like this, and I'm assuming it has to do with the normal map of the rock helps determine everything when it comes to the normals on the rock. Otherwise it will just look like this. We can kind of try it out if I do this. This is just a pure, simple... No, that is not correct. So is it something else? I don't know. If I was in the national team, I'll be giving you guys 20-0. I'm not saying it. Sure. Sure, Moab. Sure. Well, oh, come on. You could have said like 6-0, but 20? Come on. All right, so what's going on? How about we do this? How about we do this? Could it be because I am re-evaluating or recalculating the normals for the rock? I have to do it for the snow too. Could that be a thing? So let's add that. I'm just going to check the... Oh, it didn't like that at all. Right, because I need to do this. Here we go. How about that? The map and the back map. Blend does not have back map. Are you referring to back faces, Mohammed? The map and the back map. Not sure what the back map or the map in this context means. If you could enlighten me on that one. Okay. That was the thing. But what was that thing? Oh, I'm also using the derived normal Z sign. Is that what I want to do? Why is it called that when I'm not doing that? Why is it? Because there's no Z or sign in this. I'm just reading. That needs to go. How about this? How about now? Oh, back faces? Yeah, okay. So no, absolutely no. Both Blender and Unreal do work with or have back faces. You can see in this one. Now it's gone. Now it's there. So this is a back face model, or a model with back faces. So models that aren't, what's it called, watertight, or is one way to refer to it, or I believe the official word is a manifold model. A manifold model, or is it non-manifold? I can't remember the difference. A manifold, either way, the idea is that it's watertight, so it can't leak out because there's no openings in the model. This one, on the other hand, doesn't have that. It doesn't have backside or front side, whatever you want to say, but it's, yeah. The idea is that this has a non-manifold geometry. Scratch everything. In the end, yes, it does have pieces. I'm learning I should memorize all Blender functions in French and English. Well, first of all, I'm not sure there is a French version of Blender, to be honest. I've never seen one, at least. And second is that when it comes to the idea of you have to learn everything, no, you do not. You do not have to learn everything about an engine or a software. Actually, in anything, unless it's related to being actually able to use it. So when it comes to Blender, you don't have to know everything. If you can know like 20 things, you can do stuff in Blender. Guaranteed. You don't have to. You want to learn everything? Okay, you have to spend maybe 2 lifetimes. I don't think there's a person alive today that can honestly, like hand on heart and whatever, tell you that they know everything about Blender. It's such a big engine, like not like fact-wise, like information-wise. It's just way too much. Understandable. I should. What is that word? QIQ? QIQ? This is what. Is that a mix of English and French? Feels like it is. Dude, I'm really happy with this result. It needs more, though. It needs more. It needs more snow. So let's reduce the contrast. Or, no, we don't want to reduce the contrast. We want to reduce the snow contrast. There we go. How about that? How about make it 1? Yeah. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Let's make that 0.25, I think. This back. Close this. No. Close that. I guess we could do that. Awesome. I'm so happy this works. How about the other ones then? All right, so now we're back to a fork in the road. I might have to step back or take back something I changed earlier. Change it back to what it was. In the rock material, I made all of these exposed parameters use very small textures just to save memory space. But I might have to revisit that, because what I have to do now is one or two things. Either I go into each rock material instance and change the snow texture to the one I want, which will mean I don't want to use these 1x1 pixel textures. I want to use the same as I have on the large rock, right? That would take time, and it's like at least 9 or 10 materials. That's quite, it's not a lot of work, but it's tedious. Or I could make the one snow texture default on these. That means that it will always load no matter what I do. And if I change one material instance, they will still load together with that new snow texture. So now I have 2 textures that will always load. But I don't have to go back, change each material instance. And if I wanted to change the default snow texture at some point, I could just go to master material and do it. Yeah, I think that makes sense in my mind. So the idea is to, again, replace the default texture to that snow basic texture. I think that's the approach. I meant wacky. Wow, like this QQ. It meant to save the thing. Have OBS done something that doesn't allow me to see what it is? No, it hasn't. So I'm just wondering whether or not OBS kind of didn't show all the symbols you were trying to say. But no, Mohammed, I still don't know what QOQ is or YQ. Sorry, don't know. By the way, tomorrow's last exam. Ooh, ecology, yeah, and environment. Dude, good luck. I'm sure you can do it. You've studied for this, so you can do it. I'll cross my fingers for you. That wasn't a word. Yeah, right? Cross fingers, right? The weird thing is in Sweden, we don't say cross fingers. We say hold my thumb. Does that make sense? I don't know. No, probably not, but that is what we're saying. That's like a translation. Hold it to mana. That's what we're saying. Oh, I'll hold my thumbs. I don't know. Sometimes we're really weird. All right. Yes. Right. I was meant to keep getting distracted, and I blame chat. Right? That's the proper way to be a streamer, right? Something goes wrong, blame chat. Something goes right, do not blame chat. Take all the credits, right? Let's see. You needs to be this guy. And then we need this guy. Do that. And finally, normal. Like so. Not crush fingers, but hold fingers. We, like, the Vikings were rough, but we didn't work with self-harm. That goes against our principle, I think. And now you're messing up. These rocks are going to kill me eventually because it doesn't make any sense to me. You like that one? Hold your thumbs or holding my thumbs? It makes no sense to me. I have no idea what it means. Like, why would you hold your thumbs? Am I? Is this a problem again? Didn't I just fix this? And now it works? What is going on? Am I missing something? This didn't, no. This, you know what? No, I'm not going to deal with it. It is working. I'm just going to leave it as is. This is insane. All right. Like the Americans and shoot guns in the air. Well, I don't think they do that anymore. I'm pretty sure it's really illegal. But back in the old days, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's still all good things to my Americans, but you're kind of insane sometimes. I went to the US, believe it was between 2010 and 2008 and 2010. I lived there for a few years studying, and there were a lot of good things about America. I loved it. It was a really good, nice place. Not sure about the walking culture, which is non-existent in the US. So if I wanted to go from my dorm to the grocery store, I had to drive. And it's a 2-minute drive. But walking there could potentially kill me because there was no sidewalks or pavements for your Brits out there. So there were no place for me to walk. And as lovely as the place was, this city, St. Charles, I believe it's called, it was all concrete. That's all I remembered. Well, outside, of course, there were some greens, but in the center of the city, like next to roads and everything, it was just pure concrete all the way. When I'm assuming Swede or Swedish person eating in the bowl and they hold their thumbs, there's a chance they get good luck. That's a lot to uncover here. One is we don't hold our thumbs purely for luck. It's more like keeping away bad luck rather than gaining luck, if that makes sense. And not sure why a bowl is necessary. We do eat in bowls like food. We do use that, but I'm not sure why it's necessary in this analogy. Right? That's the word, right? Yeah. I want to go to the US, to Michigan specifically. Yeah, I think you mentioned this before. And I still don't know why Michigan specifically, but I do my master's there and find a work buy land there, would build a house and find a wife and build a family. That's a great dream. All before 30. Right. I mean, it's certainly possible. Not sure about the immigration status of the US right now. But while you're studying, that could change. So, yeah, give it a shot. I think it's a great idea. And the girl you like live there. Well, that's a good motivation to get going then. Is this a bit too thin? I feel like it should be more snow, right? That is something I'll keep in mind, and I'll do that in the future. For now, I'm just happy we got it to work. And look at this. Look at this. This is not what I actually expected to happen. This looks great. It's a bit thin. Again, it is thin. It needs more. But I have a few ideas to get that to work. And one of them, let's see if I can't make that happen. Last time I tried this, the rocks or the details that I'm trying to now push went sideways. Not sure why. Well, I have a reason. I know why, but I don't know how to solve it. So if I do this, let's see. Let's grab the vertex normal world space. And if I do what? What is it that I want to do? Do I want to do the dot product again? That's not the dot product. That is... So I'm just going to try... This is just pure experiment right now. Just to show what it is I'm thinking I want to do. Let's make that a 1. Add that in there. Do a saturate. So we do have it in the 0 to 1 space. Right. Then I'm just going to do lerp. And in this case, I want to move what's at the top, which is connected to this. Right. So if I add a like push, let's just call it push for now. Don't delete it. Let's make it 1. Add it in there. Add this to the world position offset. Am I really doing this right now? Yeah, I think I am. Do an apply. And I don't think anything happened. And I do this. Yeah, that's not working at all. Why is that? Is it this? This is probably not right. Oh, right. I look at the wrong rock. This is the one I want to look at. But you don't know if she likes you anymore. I'm sorry to hear that. Have you lost contact with her? Is that the thing? Alright, so this needs to go this way. There we go. Yeah, it's going sideways. I want to go up. Not sure why it goes either. But yeah, so the idea is that I can use this to kind of build up a layer of snow. Let's give it a bit more thickness. I think that could look cool. But again, I don't know why it's going sideways. So yeah, picks for the future eventually. I'm still in early like alpha, beta. Yeah, it's early on in the project, so. And I think I've written it down somewhere. We'll see. Right. So this guy now works. That's awesome. Actually, you can be completely deleted. That's old stuff. Yeah. Honestly, I think this is it's done. You just need some cleanup. Yeah. Let's do that. We're gonna have that over there. That's fine. Then like this. No, we are talking like once a week. She said that she's busy with work a lot. We played some Minecraft and we made a pretty wonderful world. Well, that is great. Whether or not that is a way to tell if she likes you or not, that I do not know. One of these things is not within my expertise, to be fair. Yes, the only way to confirm is to actually ask. But yeah. But she's busy with work, yeah. Work tends to be a priority once you grow older. Unfortunate. Well, it kind of depends, I guess, in which stage of your life you're in. I'm in that stage right now that the past 15, 20 years has been more or less work or projects. That's my life right now. But I'm enjoying myself. Awesome. I do think that is... We're making progress. More progress than I expected, so... so what's the next step? Let's have a look at what we're looking at. We have another world we can have a go at. Let's go back to this. This is more or less the main sandbox level. So let's see what it looks like. So you're going to see a lot of blue on the terrain, but that is the next goal. If this works out the way I expect it to, or hope to, the next thing will be to adjust the material on the terrain. And yeah. I think we're onto something. Awesome. So that means we need to go to this guy, then finally this guy. Those tabs to the right. And this is a mess. So let's see. What is it that's not working this area? We do have snow textures. That's great. This is a slope mask for the ground slope, the mid-high slope, mid-low slope. I have no idea what they mean. To be honest, UV's temporary use. Holy shit. What on earth have I been doing? We used to be in a relationship. She started it, I assume, and she wanted to be a friend for now because both of us are still figuring things out. That's very fair and mature. Like I'm still in a third world country and still studying. And there. I mean, that is very fair, isn't it? She's an 18 years old worker figuring out what she's doing in the first one. I mean, yeah. When you're in your late teens, early 20s, like you've just started life. If you've figured things out at that age, well, congratulations. That will be impressive. But chances are you need another 8-10 years before you realize, yeah, this is where I want to be. But then again, you want to try something, right? You want to focus on things. So I guess my message or what I'm trying to say is it's natural to feel like you need some space to figure things out when you're in those years of your life, like early stage, and eventually give it another 2, 3, 5 years. You'll feel like, yeah, I think I'm starting to get a hang of this thing, this life and living thing. So no sweat, no stress. 20 years and 18, yeah. So yeah, we'll keep in contact. Who knows? Maybe she will come back and realize, you know what? I tried this other thing, but this place, the thing you and I built up, it's really amazing. So I want to keep at it. But it also realistically, if she lives on the other side of the world, again, she's 18, you're 20, things might just change. And life does that. Every 5-10 years, in my life, every 5-10 years, let's say every 10 years, things changed. If I were to ask myself, like the 20-year-old myself, like I wouldn't be the same person. Imagine that you feel like you're the same person when you're 10, 20, 30, or 40. You're not. It's not going to happen. You're 20. You're not going to feel like you're when you're in your 30s. You're not going to feel like the same person that you were in your 20s, and so on. Be positive. Keep it up. Life changes. Things rarely go the way you wanted to or expected it to. It takes twists and turns. I would just try to stay positive and just keep at it. That's all I can say. Okay. So I know this thing didn't work. I don't remember why. That's a problem. That's a problem. I do want to work in this type of style. I like the idea of making these kind of chunks of textures and then use that to whatever I need to. I can actually go there before 3 years from now for studying. So I take that as if you finalize or graduate from the current studying, you can go there? Or are you saying you can go there now and study for 3 years? Either way is possible, I guess. Okay, let's leave these out for now. I want to make sure things work. Let's add... if we can get these to work. So let's add these two. Then I'm going to grab these. Let's give it fairly straight. There we go. And then I want to try this guy. So if I do that and this. This looks a big mess right now. The ground slope mask wall. What are you again? It's this guy. That is something Unreal has done. Oh, it's comparing. Oh, interesting. Interesting. How does that even work? I don't know. No, after 3 years, like in 2029. Okay. Oh, you need to go back to studying. Well, good luck. I'll hold my thumbs for you. Good luck. All right, so what I want to try next is disconnect this guy, go in and make sure use material. Okay, it's already doing that. Let's add these like so, right? Apply. Then let's hide all of these. There you go. Now that is what I wanted. That is what I expected. So it is working. But why do I feel it didn't work last time? I don't know. Oh, don't worry about it. See you around. Why? I think it has something to do with the height stuff. Pretty sure. Let's see. What does this mean? It means that in B, which should be the white parts, right? God damn, remembering these things never work for me. Output 0. It should be input 1, which is A. Yeah, so the dark values should have. Is it? Is it? Yes, it is. All right. I guess that makes sense. Let's do this. Copy. Make this guy blue. And do another blend, but this time I don't know which one. Mid, high, slope mask. Mid. I have no idea what these means. I've followed tutorial, I believe. That's why. Let's do this. Then this. Finally, that. No, all right, I forgot. I need to connect this. That doesn't look correct. Okay, so let's figure this out. What is what? So I'm calling it ground slope mask. As in, this is a slope mask, but it's the ground you're walking on, not the actual slope. That's kind of harsh. Bad way of formulating it, but all right. And you are mid-high. What the on earth is a mid-high slope? Like, really high slopes? And the last one, mid-low. I can't say these makes any sense to me. The only way, I mean, it makes sense in the sense, no, it doesn't make sense. That's the thing. I need to rename these so I know what's going on. I mean, this could be more like flat slope rather than ground. Mid-high, mid-low. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not following along. This is where notes would have been great. What time is it, by the way? It's almost 9:15. I feel this. All right. I'm going to make a decision here to say that I made enough progress for this stream. I've already done like 8 hours of work today, so with these extra 2 hours, it's kind of taking a toll on me. I don't want to make this a burdensome project or like an unfun. I want to have fun while I work on this, and I feel rejuvenated and fresh. So I'm going to call it here. So thank you all for showing up. I think this has been a great stream, considering we finished all the issues with the vegetation, which was mostly purely about cleanup of the material. Then we fixed the rocks, and that now has these nice details when it comes to snow, right? Lying on top of rocks. So it's been a great stream, good progress. And rather than me rambling on, I'm just going to say thank you all again. If you like this type of thing, what I'm doing, what I'm working on, the way I'm ramble and do things, please consider follow or just add me as a subscribe on YouTube. I make no sense every now and then. You'll live with it. You can learn to live with it. So yes, rambling, cut it out. Thank you all. And I hope to see y'all next time, which will likely be on Friday. And I think we're going to just end it there. No raids this time. I just want to quit. just like that. All right. Thank you all. And I hope to see you all on Friday. All right. Bye-bye.